Hey, what's up? Here with a new mercenary build, and this time we are worshipping the power of the old gods with the new mercenary Y'Shaarj and the old one N'Zoth. So Y'Shaarj actually can be used in quite a few ways, and for this build we're using him to actually just speed up N'Zoth's third ability so you can actually do a AoE board clear, but there are cases where Rage Unbound can actually go off too, and you're just going to nuke your entire opponent's board with Rage Unbound and then follow it up with a Corrupted Viscera. At least that's the high rolly way to actually do this, and there are a little bit of different variations that you can do within this build itself that I'll go over in a little bit, but there is one warning that I really need to give before we get to that. If you notice, there was actually another new mercenary on the team, which is Maestra. And with the equipment that I'm actually using within these replays, she has a weird little bug that is very frustrating to actually play with. It actually makes her just swap the order she is in for no apparent reason if you actually summon her off of her equipment, which can cause some weird issues like we're seeing behind us right now, where she should be on the opposite side of Trigore, but she isn't for some reason. I don't know if this is a bug just with the first equipment of hers, or if it's a bug with all of her equipments, but I've seen other people use other ones, and it worked perfectly fine, so I'm assuming it's just a bug with her first equipment. But with that warning out of the way, let's get into the Mercenary by Mercenary Breakdown. Y'Shaarj, of course, is our first mercenary, where we're mainly using him for Strength of Y'Shaarj and Rage Unbound. You do use Defiled Attack here and there, but it doesn't usually come up. And for equipment, I am using Heart of Y'Shaarj, but if you don't have access to this because you don't have the Heroic Y'Shaarj completed, Mark of Y'Shaarj is also okay. They both are kind of edge case scenarios anyways, so it just depends on what you actually want to do. Trigore is the second mercenary on the team, and I just realized I am using the wrong equipment. This should be even better with the correct one, which is the one for Backlash, which is Razor Claw, and we're mainly using him for his Backlash ability, just to protect our other mercenaries, and because we do have a taunt on Y'Shaarj, we're always going to get this off no matter what. N'Zoth is the third mercenary on the team. We're using Eternal Torment on him. We are basically swapping between Spawn of N'Zoth and Corrupted Viscera whenever it's off CD. However, there are some edge cases where your opponent summons a minion that you might want to actually just grab yourself, so you might use Gift of N'Zoth, and that'll actually speed up both his and Y'Shaarj's ability, but for the most part you're just going to be using Spawn of N'Zoth and Corrupted Viscera. Maestra is the next mercenary on the team, and we are using Mask of the Mummy as her equipment, but as mentioned before, I don't know if this is a bug or what. You might want to try some of her other equipments instead, such as Mask of Mimicry, where it'll just swap out a minion instead of anything else, since you are using N'Zoth, and you can actually get 4 mercenaries out this way. Again, just something to try. I didn't get around to doing it. And for the most part, you are using her with Shifting Strike as a way to increase your attack and get the roll advantage on whatever you're actually facing. Sinestra is the 5th mercenary on the team, which we're using Mana Brooch, and we are basically swapping between Mana Barrier and Twilight Extinction. And finally, we have Cookie with Appetizers. With that all out of the way, let's look at some games. Okay, so even split. Just going to put down the normal 3. Okay, so it's Dragons with Trigore in the center. I'm wondering what the back row, though, is, because that doesn't look like a normal back row for Dragons. Nature, maybe? Just going to do our normal combo at the start. We actually probably could have just nuked Sinestra out of existence here if we really felt like it. It's going to hit there. We're going to get really close to killing the Nefarian in one turn. And they're actually going to attack with the Sinestra. That was probably a mistake on their behalf. Well, we can try to attack with the Y'Shaarj, or we could just put the Defiled Strength up. I'm going to do it like this. Then try to kill everything here. Yeah, putting the Strength of Y'Shaarj up is probably the safer bet there. They're going to give a bunch of attack to Sinestra, and we thankfully actually just hit the Sinestra out of existence. And then we get Maestra. Now we just have to deal with whatever the hell their back row is. Okay, so we're just going to spawn another one. Then we'll probably use Corrupted Viscera next turn. I still can't believe I made that stupid mistake though. Let's see what this hits. It's the Trigore, exactly what we wanted. And I almost forgot that existed, which is a little bit frustrating. We should still be fine though. Thankfully that doesn't actually trigger. Oh, it does trigger. And it did hit the N'Zoth. Okay, so... Okay, so we're just going to repeat what we normally do. I guess this makes sense as a Dragon Nature build. Shifting Strike doesn't actually do anything there. We did get rooted. A bit frustrating. We do have the Sinestra just to finish them off, though. I doubt that they can actually do the full amount of HP to the Sinestra. I think this, yep. Good old Maestra not knowing where she's supposed to belong, I guess. Well, we're just going to heal up a little bit on the Sinestra. Going to take this long and slow, because if we can get the Sinestra fully to kill their entire board, we should be in a really good position. We're going to force the middle mercenary to hit the other two. Then we'll heal up again. We'll use Corrupted Viscera. And then we'll try to use Shifting Strike. And hopefully this will go well. Can't see how it could go any worse. And that actually hits the target we need it to hit. We're going to heal a little bit there and we win. Okay, so there are mainly fighters on the opponent team, which is actually a pretty good sign for us because we do have two very high damaging protector mercenaries right now. Okay, so it looks like they're going to be dragons with Trigore in the center, with Valeera also. That's kind of interesting. I haven't actually seen Valeera too much recently, but it makes sense. It's an easy way to actually be triggered off of Trigore, so we're just going to put up the taunt, use Trigore's backlash, and then use N'Zoth's spawn of N'Zoth. This is probably going to kill the Nefarian in a turn, which is actually pretty good. And the nice thing here is because we have spawn of N'Zoth, none of our mercenaries will be hit by Valeera. Well, we're just going to do the taunt again, and then we're going to do that. And then try to hard target the Trigore, but it's probably going to instantly die to the Valeera. Nice to have a little protection against Valeera. Nefarian will die here. Trigore will also die. We get the Maestra out. And now we have Trigore and a N'Zoth, but the N'Zoth isn't going to be able to do anything here, and I'm pretty sure Trigore is going to sadly die next turn. We're probably going to actually just spawn another spawn of N'Zoth next turn. It really depends on how I'm feeling here, though. Going to try to kill Tyrande probably first. And the nice thing is the Valeera will instantly kill itself going into Trigore if it does that. They are just going to hard target the N'Zoth. That's actually probably a smart play on their behalf, but at the same time, a little bit annoying. We do get the Trigore off even though he dies, and it is going to repeat, so we're going to get the Trigore again. And then Sudden Betrayal, probably should have used something else there, but oh well. And now we have Sinestra and Cookie left, so we're just going to start doing our rotation for Sinestra. Really hoping the bug doesn't randomly decide to swap things around here. And goody, it didn't. I don't actually know what triggers that bug either. Just gonna do an AoE bleed to everything, might as well. Okay, so we're gonna heal a little bit, just hoping that that didn't hit the cookie fish, and it's Thankfully didn't. We can just heal up a little bit more. Probably going to use Dirty Tricks again. Put a fish down so we can actually get some damage on or some healing. Really depends on how it's going to work. Okay, they do kill one of our mercenaries, which is fine. Gonna hard focus down Sinestra. We got extremely lucky there. We're gonna just heal up a little bit more and then use Fish Feast to kill the Ronde and they give up. Hey, so they're even split. Doesn't actually give us any information on what it possibly could be. I don't know why I just put those all out like that. I should have probably just allowed the game to do it for me for free. But oh well. Hey, actually, we can do something really funny here. We can actually steal the cannon if we really feel like it. Prevents them from scaling their damage up with Eudora if we do. And it also helps the Trigore situation too. Though we are slower than I think the cannon, so it's going to probably attack into something first. Either way, this is really funny to just do. I'm going to put strength up, backlash up. I really don't know why I never noticed the fact that I didn't have the right equipment on. That's really frustrating. Well, we could try to steal again, but I think it would be best just to play a Spawn of N'Zoth. I'm pretty sure Yasharaj will be able to just nuke everything next turn anyways, with his third ability. Okay, so we can get real fun here. Use that. Probably shouldn't explode the board. So we're gonna probably spawn another spawn here. But we should be able to kill everything in one swipe. At least hopefully. They actually didn't use... Huh. Interesting. We're just going to nuke everything here. And now we have a big spawn of N'Zoth. And then next turn we can just nuke the board with, what, 49 damage? That's a really interesting comp. Don't know why he built like that, but I'm not the one questioning it. We're playing it. Well, we're going to do AoE there, put up Strength of N'Zoth, because why not? They'll do Elemental Fate. We'll nuke the board, and then we just have to deal with the leftovers next turn. Unless they give up. They could always do that too. Yep. Okay, so it looks like we're playing against another Yasharaj build. Let's see which one is better here. Just going to do our normal start. Okay, so they're gonna spawn 3. If I had Yasharaj fully leveled up, we wouldn't be taking any damage here. But sadly, I don't. They actually put up the taunt too, which is kind of interesting. I guess they're trying to protect the Vol'jin, which makes sense. We're just going to use Frenzy Attack instead because we're slower, so that's not going to matter too much. We're going to spawn another spawn and then try to get the Zakis, I guess. Actually, no, let's go for Vol'jin. Vol'jin makes a lot more sense than going for Kazakis. Okay, so they're going to put up the taunt again, which is kind of interesting. They're going to spawn 3 more. Thinking that they're trying to rely on the fact that they have Sylvanas on the bench, probably. It's kind of weird that they're just not attacking. Okay, we're going to use Rage Unbound, Corrupted Viscera, though we probably shouldn't use the Corrupted Viscera. We should probably just save it. Yeah, going for a third spawn of N'Zoth instead makes a lot more sense. Because we could AoE nuke this board, and then we'll have to nuke the next board, and we should be able to just do it in 2 turns, or get pretty close to it. AoE is going to go off. Curse of Weakness is sadly going to kill, I think. Oh, it doesn't actually kill anything. Okay, so we're just going to hit into their Yasharaj. Then we're going to hit all their other things dead, and then we get Maestra out, and it doesn't really matter here. And now we have, what? That's 68 plus 15. So 73 points of damage, which is not that bad. Now we just can use Corrupted Viscera. And we might as well use the Defiled attack. This should just nuke them out of existence. I also want to do something with Queen Ajar. It's just a matter of time. And voila. Okay, time for an even split again. Okay, so Elise, that's interesting to see. That's also another mercenary I really want to try out. I just want to get her leveled up a little bit more. I'm curious if the 3rd equipment actually will be worth it in the end. I don't know if Backlash actually scales off of the Golden Monkey. If it does, that's actually kind of funny, but you never know. It really depends on how they decided to code it, I guess. Good thing we're not actually an attack-based Yasharaj build, or would have not been able to do anything there. Just gonna repeat what we did last turn. Okay, so they're going to kill one of our spawns. We're going to just spawn another one. When they spawn the golden monkey, it should be really funny, because we can steal it next turn. There's the golden monkey. Lucky for us, those are immune. Then this turn, I think we're still quicker than any ability that they could actually use. We're going to use Rage Unbound and Corrupted Viscera, and then just pass the turn back. Though it would have been a lot funnier if we stole it, but I think this is a safer play, to be honest. Just nuke everything here. And they're probably going to give up here. I probably shouldn't have used Corrupted Viscera. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the build. Overall, the build was incredibly fun to actually play. I don't know if this is actually the best way to actually use Yasharaj. Probably isn't. It is really cool to actually be able to get off his last ability and N'Zoth's last ability consistent. And that is the main thing that I really wanted to do when I was setting out to actually trying to figure out a build with both of them in. I can't wait to see the other old gods to see if we do get more refresh rates with each individual old god, and how crazy it's going to get once we reach a critical mass of these really powerful mercenaries that actually synergize incredibly well together. It's really cool to be able to spawn a spawn of N'Zoth and then buff it up with a Rage Unbound just so it has about 34 attack and it can't actually be damaged whenever it attacks. It's a really powerful combo, and if you've been looking for a way to actually use Yasharaj in a build, this is a great one to try out. Though I don't know if I would use Maestra unless you're using Mask of Mimicry, where it might not be bugged, but you never know. I just wanted to try something new out, and that was the mercenary I had most leveled up. Like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.